Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Community Links, where service meets students. I'm Pajus.
And I'm Alyssa McFadden. On today's episode, we're going to get to talk to the Philadelphia chapter of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
Later, Alyssa and I will talk with Deidre McVeigh to discuss her role in LaSalle University's Relay for Life event.
Without further ado, we're here with Marianne Aguilar to talk about the National MS Society. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. This is great.
This is a great opportunity for us to get to know about you guys and LaSalle to get to, I guess, get involved more.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, and I love that you're sporting orange.
I am.
Which, so I've heard, is the color for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
Yep, there's a lot of orange in our office.
It's a good happy color. It's a good choice. I love it. So let's start with the basics. How did you get involved? Why did you get involved?
Yeah, you know, a lot of folks who work at the Society had a direct connection to MS before they started, and I didn't. I had been working in the performing arts, and it wasn't something that was really on my radar. The opportunity to work for the National MS Society dropped into my lap, and, you know, starting work there, not that the performing arts aren't valuable and important to people's lives, and not that they don't make a huge impact, but now I know people living with MS and seeing the impact that we can have on their lives through programs and services, the advocacy that we try to push through, and the research, of course, that we fund. It's a reason to come to work in the morning, definitely.
And even the website, I was perusing the website last night, and you have all different types of resources for not only the people who suffer from MS, but the family members, and whether it's children, teenagers, like husbands or wives, mothers, fathers, all of them. And I think that's a wonderful resource to have, that because every disease, and MS included, doesn't just affect one person. It affects the people who they care about, the people who care about them. And I think that's really nice that your society and your website focuses on everyone who's involved.
Well, we like to say that MS kills connection and connections kill MS. So I should back up a little bit and tell you what multiple sclerosis is. It isn't perhaps
I have a little
as well
background,
known.
but
Oh, do you?
Yeah, my mother actually has multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
So this is very near and dear to my heart. So I love having you here to learn more about this.
I didn't know. Thank you for telling me. So multiple sclerosis, I'm sure you know, but to the LaSalle community at large, it's a disease of the nervous system. So we don't know exactly what causes it right now, but you know how your brain kind of controls all of your body? Your brain is your experience.
Yeah.
MS is a disease that forms lesions on your brain, and so it breaks those connections. So anything that your brain can control can be affected by MS. People experience dizziness, fatigue, difficulties thinking sometimes, remembering things, of course, walking, mobility issues. And MS looks different for everyone. So does that about sum up?
Yeah, just about. And I think one thing that's very unique to MS, I mean, I don't really have much of a background in other diseases, but is people have a lot of good and bad days.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to kind of tell, like, how someone is suffering based off of whether it is a high or a low, or how the disease is affecting them that specific day.
And I think that you were spot on when you said that MS affects the whole community around them. I mean, I think that's true of many diseases, all of these things. But it's definitely, there's a community impact when it comes to multiple sclerosis. So it's great that you're having me on today to talk, and that you're both, well, Alyssa, I know that you volunteered, you interned with the National Multiple Sclerosis Society for a while.
Over the summer, I interned with you guys in the volunteer department, and like we were discussing earlier, it was just really great to get to talk to people who have volunteered for years and years and years for, I was working on Bike MS. So it was just great hearing their stories, because they would say either they have MS or they have a family member with MS, or they'd say, we just want to help people and we want the opportunity to ride our bike this many miles, or it's like 180 miles or something ridiculous like that for all of our athletic people. LaSalle, come on out.
But we do have a Century Loop. We can't go 100 miles.
Exactly. But so I think that was one of my favorite parts, is getting to reach out and have people be so excited to come and support the cause, because like you said, there's a lot of different diseases, there's a lot of different causes, but when it comes down to it, this is something that's, I think, important to a lot of people, even if you don't realize
and
it.
a lot of early mornings, so I heard one of the bike races starts at 4 a.m.
Well, I should say the ride itself doesn't start at 4 a.m. We were talking a little bit earlier about our 2 bike rides. There's Bike to the Bay, and that's our Delaware ride, and then there's City to Shore, which is our 8,000 cyclists ride in New Jersey.
So many. How do you control that many people?
Well, you have a lot of wonderful volunteers is really the short answer. So when I mentioned that early morning start, we have volunteers up before the crack of dawn there, and they're helping riders, have an exciting time and to be safe. They're getting them registered. They're manning the rest stops. We have lots of very exciting themed rest stops. They're there at the celebration at the finish line in Ocean City, right there. It's a carnival atmosphere, and everyone is so excited. And when it comes to volunteer opportunities, I would say it's definitely one not to miss.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's definitely something that our LaSallian students can get involved in, because it's, from my experience, I guess, of signing people up, it's very simple, and you get to pick kind of what job you want to do and how you want to interact with people. So I think it's a lot of different options for people, in my opinion.
We're really into the idea of volunteers crafting their own experiences. So you might come into the office and make phone calls like you did, or you might be stuffing things into envelopes. We have lots of shirts and prizes. So if any LaSalle students are interested in riding in City to Shore, that's another great opportunity. But not to forget to mention, in the spring we have Walk MS, which is a fantastic walk event, which I should say I believe it's 19 sites in the greater Philadelphia area this year, including New Jersey and Delaware. So there are opportunities to volunteer with Walk, with McFest. That's our mud run. It's 5K, and it is a lot of very muddy fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a new course this year, very exciting. And then for any seniors out there who are 21 plus, and that's, I guess, the hook here, right?
I'm most likely,
maybe I shouldn't start it that way. We have Preakness at the Piazza, which, so we watch the horse race at the Piazza, and it's like you get dressed up in the derby style, and you have a great time and connect with others within the MS community. So it's a lot of orange derby hats and bow ties.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it really is.
Great time.
Orange is a good color. It looks good on everyone, I would say.
We certainly think so. It's true.
So can you tell us just a little bit about what you specifically do and what projects you've worked on?
Yeah, so I am the Donor Relations Manager at the Greater Delaware Valley chapter of the Society, and that means that if someone gives to us, if they give money to us, I make sure that they're getting what they need out of the organization, because, as a fundraiser, it's about relationship building. So if someone thinks about giving money to us or donates, we of course appreciate it, but they gave to us for a reason, and it's our responsibility to make sure that they're getting a return on that investment, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
And I know you're very involved with like the walks and the bike races and everything. Do you ever get just students like through bake sales or car washes or any the old-fashioned ways of raising money?
Absolutely, I'm glad you brought that up. So we do have what we call DIY fundraising, and it's actually managed by a staff member in our office who was a former LaSalle student, Maria Oberist.
Shout out to Maria.
Right. Yeah, so if anyone in the community wants to, and with social media these days, you send out a Facebook invite and everyone sort of says, oh yeah, I will come to your bake sale, or I will absolutely come to your house party. It's a $5 cover charge. Okay, that's a little strange, but I'll do it. It's for MS. Okay, so we have everything from like belt sander races, which is where you hop onto a belt sander, and it's hard to describe. You just have to
I'm very confused but intrigued.
Just Google it later. To collections at things like parties. It's one of the most exciting up-and-coming fields that we fundraise in, and it's a great way to show community support.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way for the LaSallian students to get involved too, because even if they can't make those early morning bike rides or go to the walks, due to like other conflicts such as different events going on here on campus, they could definitely table in the union or have different types of fundraisers on their own.
We would love to partner with you for that, and we offer staff support in those ways. We won't just sort of, when I mention Maria, she and other staff members will be there to help guide the process if you need that kind of support.
Yeah,
That's
no,
awesome. That's a great
Orange
source to
swag.
Orange, orange swag everywhere. It would be great. Yes, so I'm trying to remember parts of my internship that I think, I guess you would also have experiences with. One of the things that I guess volunteers can also do is come into the office on their off days and help stuff. I guess I did that one day.
Yep.
We have some loyal volunteers that come in. I remember talking to people who come weekly or bi-weekly. So I guess if you want to talk about that briefly.
Oh yeah, you know, it's really the commitment that works for you as a volunteer. When I said that we're tailoring the experience to you, that's in terms of time as well. So if you want to come in, I had a volunteer in yesterday, I believe, from 5 to 6 p.m. because that's what worked for him. And he made some thank you calls with me because that's, you know, an important part of letting people know that we appreciate their involvement with the society. But we also have volunteers who, you know, come in during office hours, 9 to 5. We have really highly skilled volunteers who serve on committees, you know, and who help put together events like I mentioned Preakness at the Piazza, who help put together things like bike and walk. We have volunteers who do the route markers for that entire, you mentioned 100-mile ride. Yeah. So really the opportunities are kind of endless.
Yeah, I just think it's a great opportunity, and I mean, because I've interned there, I kind of advocate it. But you guys also come to our job fair at LaSalle, which I think is just a great opportunity to get involved if you're looking for a career in that type of aspect, because there's a lot of different marketing options or communication, volunteering. So graphic design sometimes.
So graphic design, individual giving, what I do. We have fundraising interns and all of the different events. That will be picking up soon. Summer is a great time to get an internship with the National MS Society. It's a very busy time as we go into what we call bike season, getting ready for Bike to the Bay and City to Shore. Yeah.
All right, well, we're just about wrapped up for this interview, but we just wanted to thank you so much for coming out and sharing your passion, I guess, or your career with us.
I am absolutely passionate,
and we're excited. We hope that a lot of LaSalle students get to know the MS Society through volunteering for them or raising money and different opportunities. And thank you again so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you both for having me.
Yeah, we really appreciate
it. Great.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but stick around to hear about more from Relay for Life.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
It's a school night. With Gary and Todd?
Yeah.
Not sure about those two. I've been meaning to ask you. This is tougher than I thought. Is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
I hope not, because alcohol can lead you to say things and do things that you really wish you hadn't. Isn't this what you're supposed to say?
I know.
So if any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you.
Brian.
Yeah?
So start the conversation even before they're teenagers.
Good idea.
For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Please follow me. You know where my next class is.
%31% of female victims stalked by an intimate partner were sexually assaulted by that partner. For more help, visit www.victimsofcrime.org.
You might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you know, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
We're back with Community Links, the show that brings service to you. We're here with Relay for Life co-coordinator Deidre McVeigh to learn more about this nationwide event and campaign. Hi Deidre, welcome.
Hey, thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Thanks so much for making the trek down the South Campus.
Of course.
We know it's hard sometimes on rainy days like this, but we can't thank you enough, right?
You have to.
So, you have been involved with Relay for Life all of your years here at LaSalle?
Yes.
Or is this your first year being a chair, or were you, did you have like a board position last year or anything like that?
Right, so freshman year is when my freshman year is when they started having Relay for Life on campus.
Oh, that was Relay for Life's first year?
Right.
Awesome.
We didn't know that.
So you started with it?
I did.
Wow.
It was actually really cool. So they were saying how they were going to start this group, and if you guys wanted to apply for like chair positions, you could. And so my freshman year, I was the activities and entertainment chair, and
sounds like a fun position.
Yeah,
it was.
That's a very, very important role.
Yeah, so I got to plan all of the like fun events and music that went on during the show, or excuse me, during the event. And then last year I was able to take up the Luminaria position.
Okay.
And this year I'm able to be a co-chair with Maggie Guerin and Meredith Baylitz.
Very awesome.
So that's like awesome. I've had a position all 3 years so far. So
yeah,
that just proves your loyalty.
Yeah.
Honestly, to the cause. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And as you said, your freshman year, you were in charge of activities and music and whatnot.
Right.
And like, it sounds like a fun role, but it's also very important because you're there for a long time. What is it, from like 6 at night until the next day? Like,
right. So this year our event is on April 29th. It's a Friday, so we'll go 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And it's really fun because in the beginning you have all this energy, and then you have like 12 more hours, and you're like, okay, I got this, you know?
Yeah.
But like as time goes on, you just get so motivated by everyone there, and everyone has a different story, and it's just such an incredible event. So. Yeah.
I remember last year being there, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was like, I could definitely stay up. It's no big deal. I'll nap later. No problem. I have nothing to do on Saturday. And I felt like I kept hitting these little plateaus where at one point I would be exhausted, and then I would be like, no, I can keep going. And then I would be exhausted, and then I'd be like, I got this. And then at one point, insomnia cookies came, and I was like, we're good. We are good.
Got this. I can last the rest of the time.
And I think a driving force with this is the fact that you are doing it for charity, and it is for cancer patients and people who survive cancer. And you're like, you know what, this person who I'm walking with is from this area, or they're a family member of someone who goes to LaSalle, and they fought the ultimate fight, so I can stay up until 6 a.m. I'll be fine. And that, I think, really helps people get through it.
Yeah, I mean, you just, all throughout the night, you're walking around, you're talking to people, or people are getting up and speaking on stage, and they just tell their stories, and sometimes, you know, the entire room is crying because of how, like, touched everyone is, and then right after you're hearing someone who just is saying, like, let's just keep going, like, we have a fight to fight, like, we can't give up now, and everyone's like, okay, yeah, we got this, and you just walk and you just keep talking and have an incredible time. It's such an awesome event because you realize that sometimes when people go through a hard time like cancer, you think like, oh, like it's just them, or you know, like they think it's just themselves that's going through it, but you have such a community, especially at LaSalle, who is here to fight with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were mentioning with multiple sclerosis, the people who suffer from that disease, it's not just them, it's everyone. The same thing with cancer. Like, diseases affects everyone, and it's important to show that like you do have that community that's backing you.
Everyone, like everybody knows someone, whether it's a family member, like mom and dad, a cousin, a sibling. You have people who have just teachers and grandparents. It just has every single variety of people who you could know. And so some people it's maybe a little more distance, where maybe it's a friend of a friend, but sometimes it's a parent who they lost, and everybody's just in the same boat that night, like, let's kick cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if we can ask this, but can you give us any inside scoop?
Spoilers?
About this upcoming, the one that's upcoming?
Let me think. It's going to be awesome so far, from what I can
Okay, you
tell
heard it here first,
yeah,
folks.
it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Salle TV, it's going to be awesome. Anything else you can give us?
We have some great food coming.
Okay.
Our music choices are being selected currently, which is also going to be great. And I don't want to give too much away, but we're going to have really cool speakers as well. So
Very
stuff
nice.
to watch out for.
Yeah. We didn't get a lot of details in that answer.
No, that
Did you
was
notice
very
that?
vague.
You're
letting us
hold
down
on there.
today.
Hold on, guys.
No, I'm sure that Caitlin and I will have to be in attendance so we can actually see the event.
If you knew what was happening, you might not want to come.
That's true.
You might be like, oh, well, I already heard it's going to happen, so.
Well,
but no, you want to come.
We'll
you want to find out what's going on.
We'll probably still want to come. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. What else will we do from 6 to 6, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. On a Friday night.
Candace doesn't sleep, why should we? So.
Much rather walk around the gymnasium and be with people that we love.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering why your freshman year you chose to get involved with this. Because a lot of people, when they come on here, they have personal connections, or they say, oh, my friends were doing it, so that's what I decided to do. I'm just wondering what your reason was.
Right. So my freshman year, actually, the March before I was a freshman, my uncle was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And prior to that, I had my grandmom who had cancer and other family members. So it was always something that was near and dear to my heart. And so I was like, you know, I did it in high school. Why not go again, you know? And as the process was continuing and Relay for Life was slowly approaching, my uncle was slowly not doing as well with his cancer, and my grandmom had also just developed, my other grandmom had just developed cancer, so it really was just continued to be a motivator, and I saw how much both of them fought. A week before Relay, my freshman year, my grandmom had died, and so that event was really in memory of her and like continuing to fight on. And then that summer, my uncle passed away. So that was really, not that I needed another reason, but that was just an extra push for me to continue going, because I knew how much they fought all throughout their time. And I knew that all of my family members, I couldn't let them stop. Like their fight couldn't stop with the cancer, quote unquote, winning. I wasn't gonna let that happen. So I was like, I have to carry on the fight too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. It's really humbling.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna stay up the whole time. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's stories like that, and your story, your personal story, and other people who obviously have stories on campus is one of the main reasons that it's okay to, I guess, spend your evening doing this whole thing, because it shows you it's actually like an effort and a success at the end when you've stayed up all night, or you've stayed for as long as you can at the end of the night.
Yeah, because you could say like, oh, it's just a Friday, but like, cancer isn't just anything. It's something that's really important that we need to end as soon as possible. And when we go through Relay for Life, you just see like how important it is to so many people, and you have survivors that come in and they tell you their story, and it's just like, it's incredible.
Great. So give us a little bit of details about how people can sign up for Relay, how it works, kind of, because I know a lot of people have been asking me to be on their team, and I'm very confused, and I also don't think I can be on more than one team, so I just want to make sure I get the point straight.
Correct. So our event this year is April 29th, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's a Friday, and you can sign up at relayforlife.org/PA-LaSalle, and there's a sign that says like sign up and then donate. So if you want to sign up, you click on it, and you can choose a team that you want to be on. You're typically going to be on the one team, because that team would raise money together, but you could obviously still hang out with your friends the night of. And then there's also a donate bar that if family and friends want to donate to you specifically or to your team, they can follow that page and go from there, saying like, Alyssa McFadden on the comm team, and then then they can pay money specifically to you.
And do people usually fundraise before the event or the night of, or both?
So it is predominantly done prior to the night of.
Okay.
And yet there are still going to be each team could have a fundraiser the night of, and then a couple hours before the night is over, we collect the money, and then at the end we'll have a grand total of how much we've raised overall.
And this event takes place at a bunch of different campuses, and it spreads. You said you were involved in high school with it?
Yes. My high school did it, and then it really is widespread all throughout the country. There are Relay for Life, and even the American Cancer Society is pretty much all around the world.
Do they all usually take place around the same weekend or same time of year?
Mostly, yes. It just sometimes, it'll be a lot of it will be outside. Ours is inside for just reasons of like rain dates. We like to keep it inside.
Yeah.
But like
our
my high
wacky
school's
Philly weather.
my high school was always outside. But like it'll be a lot of people do it typically during the warmer months, like May to say September, just because it's just it'll be typically nicer out and it's easier to access too. You won't get a blizzard, most likely.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I hope not.
I hope not.
You never know. In April, you
really
might get a blizzard. You never know.
So I think we have time for one more question. And I know that you are currently putting together the music situation.
I think you read my mind.
Yeah, we got this. We've been doing this a while now.
Perfect.
So if you could give us one song that's definitely going to be on that playlist, maybe not definitely, because this is your personal choice.
But definitely.
What is one song that you think sums up the night and the whole planning that went into this event?
Okay. So the song Fight Song, I can't remember the girl who sings it currently.
Okay.
But
like a ship out on the ocean.
Exactly.
That's one of the lines, I think.
And she's like, I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion.
Yes.
So she goes from like, she's saying that I might be one person, but I can make a really big impact, which is basically how Relay is. Like we're all like one person who come together and we're like, let's do this, let's fight back. And I just feel like I just always feel motivated during that song.
That's beautiful, awesome. And I think that song will definitely be on that. And we want to thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Community Links. Yeah. We hope that you can find your special group on campus to get involved in.
If you have any questions about how to contact us, you can visit our website at lasalle.edu/LaSalleTV or follow us on Twitter at CL_LA_SALLE.
You can also get more information about LaSalle service opportunities on UMass's website at studentaffairs.lasalle.edu/UMass. On behalf of myself and everyone here in the studio, we hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Thanks
Deidre.
for joining us,
Thanks, guys, for having me. I'm really happy I was here.
Sign up for Relay.
Yeah, sign up, guys.